Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today with Stamping with Loretta. Today I've got an art journal page I'd like to share with you. It is called Imagination, and I'm using just some regular gesso here. I had originally clamped these two pages down just so my book would lay flat on my table. This is going to be the last art journal page in this particular journal. I have run out of pages except for maybe one or two, and I'm actually going to remove those and rebind the journal. I'm using just some ordinary plastic bubble wrap like you mail packages with to add some texture toward the bottom using a dark green ink that is from the Master's Touch. The other bubble wrap texture you see me adding here with different colors is also from the Master's Touch. As per usual, every time I stamp or add more color and texture, if it's a wet medium, I do heat set that just so that as I go along in this process, that it's dry and ready for the next step. It does take a lot of time to heat set, and just if you ever wonder, I go through about 3 heat guns every single year. I cut my letters Imagination from a lowercase Sizzix alphabet set called Lollipop that I've had for many years. I really love this set. I don't see me ever getting rid of it, and here you will see me applying those letters to my journal page just using some glossy accents. That just happens to be what I had out at the time. You can use matte medium or even just regular glue for this process. The letters are even big enough to where you could use just some tape if you wanted to, some tape runner. I'm using a blue Copic marker to go around the letters. I actually went around these letters probably 5 or 6 times during the process until I got them the way that I wanted, and you will see what I'm talking about in the very final picture. Here it takes me several tries, but I do finally draw a face for my picture. I was thinking about drawing her with a body, and I decided I just needed a head kind of floating around since it is about imagination, and I keep working with this image. I first drew it with pencil and then with a Faber-Castell brush marker, and now I'm using my Copic markers just like I would if I were coloring a stamped image, because this is in fact cardstock that is expressive, and it is made for Copic coloring. And you will see me work with this image until I have it just the way I like it. It did take me several times to get it exactly right, and toward the end you're going to see that the lips on this little girl, I guess, will kind of just fade out and disappear, but in the end I did really like the way she turned out. This is a black Copic that you see me using now. It's 110, just to give her face a little bit more definition. Adding a little white to her eyes and some shadow using that same white marker. I didn't like how stark her teeth were with that black marker, so I did add that little bit of white just to ground it down just a little bit more. And you'll see in the end I do it one more time. To keep the piece from floating off into space, I did edge it with that same black marker. Now to give this little girl some hair, and I just laid her down on another piece of cardstock and kind of cut around her. I stamped that with a stamp using a kind of a yellow color. It's probably closer to umber, and then I'm using my Faber-Castell big marker in red to make her some hair. And there you see me kind of dry fitting the piece. I'm going to add her main face to the piece using a dimensional. I get my dimensionals from Jody Morrow. She's with Addicted to Ribbon.blogspot.com. I think she has a different website for her actual sticky stuff store, and if I remember I'll put that down below in the video or here on the screen. For a little bit more interest there, just to add some more texture in the background and keep it from having so much just plain space, I used the same stamp, the music stamp that I used earlier, and I stamped that actually with an archival green ink from Ranger. Here you see me applying my girl to my page and adding even more highlights with my Copic markers. I really like the way she turned out. I'm edging her now with a retired Stampin' Up! Watercolor crayon there, and you will see me outline her as well several more times until I get her the way I want her, so that she is a little bit more grounded and she just looks better in my opinion. I did stamp a few more images on the page just to add some more interest, and now you're going to see me begin to stamp my sentiment. The alphabet set is from Recollections. There is no name on the stamp. It is an upper and lowercase alphabet set with numbers and letters, and I just used my acrylic block and my archival ink from Ranger in jet black to stamp that out. And it says imagination is more important than knowledge, and that quote is from Einstein. This idea, or the general idea, did come from Violetta, VIOLETTA.ca. Her information is at the beginning of this video, and I will try to put it in the bottom. Here you see me using a stencil. However, the stencil and that Dylusion spray didn't really do anything for me. It just kind of puddled up around the image, so I just wiped off the excess with a baby wipe. Some got on her face. I didn't mind that. You'll see in the end that it really doesn't make any difference. So here I just have a little bit of a white sparkly 3D type of paint that I've applied in various places, and I'm heat setting that as well. I'm going back over the letters here with just my favorite go-to Jelly Roll pen in white, and what you will not see is that I do this one more time, but I use a pearlescent pen to do the process, and then after I do it with a pearlescent pen, I do it one more time with just the broad tipped pen in black, so that those letters really pop out towards the end of this video. I really had a good time making her. She is, I think, my first successful really kind of silly face, and off to the side there you see me actually signing my name, and I'm putting the date on, which is something that I try to do. Now yesterday's brown swirlies, which are from Heidi Grace, I still have plenty of them left over, so I decided to use them here on my art journal page, and I'm sitting and trying to get that done. I actually moved my camera a little bit, so if you're wondering what you're seeing there to your left, you're actually looking at the top of my desk lamp. It's actually kind of an interesting position. I do have a boom that is made for a camera lighting, actually, that I've taken out the box. I just haven't set it up to try it yet to see if I can't get a better overhead shot. So it's a work in progress. Here you see me edging the page with a little bit of green paint, and I'm using a toothbrush with just some plain gesso, and I'm flicking some color as well as pouncing some color, white in this case, onto the page, and heat setting all of that down so that it looks nice and that it's ready for the next layer of paint. There you saw me actually readjust the camera back to where I had it, and I'm going to outline my image with that Copic marker, and I'm going to add a few more interesting bits with the white gel pen. Here you see me using my Copic marker in W8 to outline the letters and really get those to stand out for me. And I'm also going to overdoodle just a little bit on the swirls and things that are on the page. My camera battery did die on me. Just a second ago you actually saw me reaching down to pet Miss Abby, who is doing extremely well post-surgery. My other Shih Tzu, Isabella, however, has had a tummy issue the last couple days, and we've had to deal with that. I applied some glossy accents, but before I applied those, I used my Wink of Stella pen to add some sparkle to those letters. They're the perfect size for doing lots of mixed media with and on. They're great for scrapbooking, and like I said before, I have had them for a very, very long time. So, and I enjoy them, obviously. So now the main image, the imagination, is really showing up for us, and I really like the way that it looks. We're going to transition here actually to the finished product. Like I said before, that pearlescent pen that I used does not show up because for whatever reason it just cut off on me. I really think that it was just an issue with the battery. And we're going to transition into the very last picture, and this is pretty much the finished project right here. I will shoot some still pictures. Stamp happy and be a blessing. Thank you. Bye.